I've been using the Kindle Paperwhite for 6 months now, and I can tell you how much I love it and how I would actually pay double for it. So let's dive in and talk about the features of this Kindle Paperwhite. So the Kindle Paperwhite actually comes with a 300 ppi resolution with a glare-free surface, and it's super light and very easy to hold when you're reading it. So it fits in most bags, so it also fits in into my small bag that I carry around every single day. So there's a brightness control backlight that you can control depending on the situation that you are reading your Kindle on. So you can actually change the font size, the font type, and even the margin. This is one of the things that I really love a lot, because in the physical book, sometimes they really print it so small that you just don't want to read it at all, because you just, like for me, I just can't read it. And on the Kindle, you can actually adjust it according to your liking, like if you want it to be smaller or bigger. So this is one of my favorite features. There's a dictionary built in, which you can just click on it and then it will show you the translation and usage in the sentence instantaneously. Also, one of my favorite part is there is a display of time left in a chapter, so you get to know how much time is left in a chapter. So it comes the text pack. So this actually comes in a 6-inch display, and it comes with 8 gig or 32 gig, which I think that the 8 gig is more than sufficient, because I use less than 5% of it. Like, unless you're a heavy reader, then if you have like a few hundred or few thousand books that you want to carry around in your Kindle, then there's the cellular and non-cellular models, which I think that you should actually get the non-cellular models instead, unless you have a lot of money to spend, because in these days, like, it's quite obsolete because you have hotspots from your phone and you don't really download books every day or every hour. So there's also the water resistant feature, which is an IPX8 rating water resistant, which allows you to submerge it into water for up to 2 meters, up to 60 minutes. Then there is 16 levels of brightness which you can adjust, which I think that it is way more than enough, because you'll be using around like 5 to 12 or 13 of the level brightness normally. So there's the tips and tricks. So the first one is something that I shouldn't be talking about in YouTube. I might be banned for it, but you can DM me for more information. So that is like downloading books externally. So tip number 2 is reading before bed. It actually helps insomnia and helping you sleep better. And then tip number 3 will be the light setting. So if you have gotten a new Kindle, so I would say the light setting for a beginner, for you to adapt to the lighting, with no lights on at all, you can actually set it to about 8 to 10. And then in indoor situation, you can actually set it to about 12 to 14. And in outdoors, you actually don't even need the light at all. You can actually dial the light to 0. So use scenario, you can actually use it while you're commuting, while you're traveling. This is very good for traveling. Like, you do a lot of waiting in the airports and waiting for this and that. And that is the time where you can actually pick up the Kindle and actually read from there. And one of the favorite one I have is reading in bed in awkward position. Like, you can actually read this in like awkward position. You can sleep sideways, and then you can be like different awkward positions. Whereas a book, you can't read it in awkward position, because the book will keep falling apart or whatever you call that. Like, the pages will flip and whatnot. It's very hard to hold a book, but for a Kindle, it's like very easy to hold. And then there comes the charging. So Kindle actually lasts for about 4 to 8 weeks depending on how much you read. So if you read about 30 minutes to an hour, it will last you for 4 weeks to 8 weeks. If you are reading crazily, like 2 hours a day, it will last you about 2 weeks, which I think is quite reasonable. And the Kindle Paperwhite 4 and the base model is actually still using the micro USB, and you need to charge it for like 3 to 4 hours, which I think it's also very reasonable. Like, you charge it once and you use it for weeks or months. So the conclusion is, it really encourages light to medium user like me. Like, I do read, but I only read occasionally, but it does encourage me to read even more. And this is definitely very recommended for heavy readers. Like, if you read every day, you read a lot every day, this is something that will really change your way of reading and change your perceptions toward reading. It is so easy and so simple. Like, you can carry around all your books with you wherever you go. So what I think is, you can actually leave off any models of the Kindle, even the basic one, because I've actually gotten the basic Kindle back then, and I've actually used it for 1 month and fell in love with it. If the price is way too much difference, I would say if you're on a budget, you can go for the Kindle Basic, which is 167 ppi resolution. But I think it's actually quite fine. But if you have more money to spend, then you can actually go for the better version with 300 ppi, and the rest of it is actually quite the same. Maybe the screen is much bigger, and if you are looking at the Paperwhite 5, it has a 6.6-inch display, which is slightly even bigger, but that really depends on the budget that you are going for. So we have come to the end of the video. Thank you for watching my video. My name is Chucky. Do subscribe to my video and hit on the notification bell, and I hope to see you again in my next video. Bye bye.